All righty. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another absolutely thrilling installment of the Spot Me Bro podcast. Another solo host podcast today. Just me, Colin, here today. Nolan is still on a little bit of a vacay here at the end of the year, which brings me to my first point of business. We've got announcements today. Announcements are just going through our New Year's schedule. By the time this releases, it will be after Christmas. So I hope that you guys all had a very Merry Christmas and slash or Hanukkah or however else that you celebrate this past week. So I hope it was a good one. And then with that, our New Year's schedule here. New Year's Eve is Wednesday, the 31st. On that day, Wednesday, the 31st, we will just have an 8 a.m., 9 a.m. class, just like we just did for Christmas Eve. So 8 a.m. will be the X4 class, 9 a.m. will be the CrossFit class. You'll get me for both of them, Coach Colin. And then on Thursday, 1/1, New Year's Day, will be closed. So no classes on Thursday, just so that we are all aware. Once again, the gym is 24/7 access. Don't forget, that includes the X4 room as well. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me here as sitting in the X4 room. It is 24/7 access. If you don't have the code to get into the X4 room, the code to get in the front door, and slash or your hybrid setup, text text me, so that you can get those things. So that if you want to show up on Thursday the 1st, you totally have that option because it is 24/7 gym. You are more than welcome to, as long as you have that full membership, right? So, and then we'll be back to normal on Friday the 2nd. So, totally back to normal schedule there. 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 4:30, 5:30, and 4:30 and 5:30 p.m. No 6:30 p.m.s on Fridays. Okay, then with that, I mentioned a little bit about it last week. If you listened to the Christmas Trio workout or the Christmas Trio podcast, we talked a little bit about nutrition and the nutrition seminar. So Coach Nolan and I will be hosting a nutrition seminar coming up here in January. I would assume mid-January, sometime in that range. And that's mostly because I believe that it will be after my daughter is born. So I'll be out coming up for a couple weeks. Her due date is the 3rd, so there might be one more podcast before we get to meet her. We'll see. But my daughter is due the 3rd. If she comes before then, this might be the last podcast. If she comes on the 3rd, then we might be able to squeeze in one more prior to a little bit of a break. I do have some content recorded for you guys already, so there shouldn't be too much of a lack of podcasts while I'm out, but just in case, we've got a nutrition seminar coming up in the middle of January, and that will be Coach Nolan and myself going over some options that we have for both nutrition coaching and some new options that we haven't fully disclosed to the rest of the membership just yet. So some new options coming up via the nutrition seminar, and that's kind of the point behind it. Then Committed Club updates, that starts on the 1st, right? That'll be the 1st of the month. So Committed Club will roll over. I kind of talked about it a little bit last week. Committed Club for January. If you will get in, you will get a Yeti style. I don't know if it'll be a Yeti, but it'll be like a water bottle type thing that like announces that you've made the Committed Club, right? That'll be the prize for your first month. So like if the first time that you make it is January, then you will get that water bottle. If your first time that you make it is sometime in the middle of March or sometime in June, whatever it is, your first time making the Committed Club, you will get that water bottle. So we'll have those for your first time. And then every time after that, so every time after you make the Committed Club, you will also get, or you will get a special sticker for that month. So it won't just be like the Ariak logo and the January Committed Club, or the Ariak Fitness logo and the February Committed Club. It'll be its own unique sticker every single month. So we'll come up with designs for that as we go, and then obviously those will be vinyl stickers, nice enough that you should be able to stick them on that water bottle, or you can put them on the basket for your cubby, or obviously anything that you would like to put that on your already existing water bottle if you have one. So anything like that, that's kind of what the point of those stickers are. But like I said, each month will be its own unique sticker. So like if you're in the Committed Club in January, you get the water bottle and the sticker for January. And then you miss it in February, but then you get it in March. You will get March's exclusive sticker, but you'll miss February's exclusive sticker, and that sticker may never come back. So that's kind of the whole point, to collect them all. Then we're gonna do a Bring a Friend week. We did that kind of in the middle of the year last year. I believe it was like July time. This year we will see it in February, and we'll run that same promotion. So one of the first weeks, maybe the first or second week of February, depending on when baby girl is born and when I can get it all figured out. We'll do another Bring a Friend week with that same promotion, which was if you bring a friend and they sign up, their first month is $50, and then the person who brought them will receive $100 in cash from Gregory himself. I like making Greg hand out the money. So in any case, we'll run that same promotion. And then on top of that, we'll also have a lot of the same stuff going on, or similar stuff going on, that we had that Bring a Friend week as well. So the goal is to get Dr. Waldo here, who's a chiropractor. The goal is to get Dr. Farah here, who's another chiropractor. The deal is to get Duck a Diet here again. Andre, feeding you guys one of those nights. We're going to talk about nutrition, and then I've got a couple of other ideas for like a supplement rep or anything like that to try and get us a few more guests during that week, so that your Bring a Friends can also have a bit of a special treatment as well. Then, last but not least, the most important announcement is that open signups start January 14th. Woo! Open signup once again opens up January 14th. So that's a little later than I think that it's usually been, and it gives us a bit less time to get you guys signed up and get teams and everything created again like we normally do. So if you have questions about what the Open is or what we do for the Open in particular, by all means ask me. I love to talk about it. I personally think it's the best time of the year to be a part of a CrossFit gym. A lot of the pictures that you guys see on the wall of memories that we have by the rowers, those are from those big like group pictures. Those are from our Friday Night Lights that we will do the Open during. Just in case you don't know, the Open is 3 weeks long. Every Friday afternoon/night, we will do the Open workout for the week, and it is a global event. So every CrossFit gym, for the most part, does the Open, and every person that signs up for the Open competes against each other. There's obviously like an Open division, so it depends on your age. It goes 18 to 34, and then it'll be 35 to 39, and 40 to 44, and 45 to 49, and 50 to 54, and 55 to 59, and 60 to 64, and then 65 plus, I believe, is the last range of age. So you'll compete within your division, and then if you get into the top 25% of your division, you'll move on to quarterfinals, which will be a whole separate thing. That's 2 weeks after the final week of the Open. So that's sometime in March, maybe early April, which we will also be hosting here as well. All of those competitions are online. It's not until we get into semifinals that things get to be in person. So keep your eye out for any of that. We'll definitely be hitting it hard with announcements and everything during class with that. I love the Open, not just because it's the most competitive time of the year. Technically, it's the start of the competitive season. It's also the most fun community event that we do. We basically have a massive party on Friday night for 3 straight weeks, and then the final week is usually the biggest. So I strongly recommend signing up, getting after it, and coming and hang out with us on those 3 Fridays. Like I said, if you have any other questions about that, by all means ask me. I love talking about it. Then let's get into some programming, because I kind of want to make this podcast slightly on the shorter side, but we'll see. With that, Monday, we've got a midline strength. So we're going to be doing some like hollow holds and some wall sits and some plank holds and that type of thing for the strength session. And we'll follow it up with 5-minute AMRAPs of dumbbell shoulder to overhead, dumbbell goblet squats, burpees, and box jumps. So lots of trying to get as many reps as we can done in 5 minutes. That's going to be a bit of a burner. Definitely a bit of a burner with those ones. RX weights will be the 50 and the 35-pound dumbbells as usual per the shoulder to overhead and goblet squats. And my like ideal strategy behind that one would probably be finding a number that's just repeatable for you. So if you can do 10, put the dumbbells down, take a 10 to 20 second rest, and then pick them up and do 10, and so on and so forth, and making sure that that's like a sustainable pace for you. That's what we're trying to find. There's that max sustainable pace per these 4 different movements. Burpees and box jumps should be kind of more like a steady pace. My goal, so I guess, so for the dumbbell shoulder to overhead and the dumbbell goblet squat, I would pick a number that I can try and maintain, put it down, rest my 10 to 15 to 20 seconds, pick it up, and then do that same number again for as long as possible. Burpees and box jumps, I would most likely slow down my like rep cadence so that I can just keep moving. Like in theory, I can do a burpee in 3 seconds. But for this workout where I'm going to be doing burpees for 5 straight minutes, I'm going to try and slow that down to maybe 5 to 7 seconds per burpee so that I can just not get super out of breath, but keep moving the entire time. Because really the only thing that's going to hold you back on that workout is stopping, right? Tuesday, we've got another big bike and deadlift workout. If you can kind of see the theme that I'm going with here on Tuesdays, we've been doing some big bikes and then mixed with some other stuff. So this week, we're doing a 130 cal C2 bike for guys, 115 cal C2 bike for ladies, or 100 cal echo bike for guys, 80 cal echo bike for ladies, and 50 deadlifts. So still biking in midline, just a little bit of a different midline this week than sit-ups last week, right? The deadlifts will also be at 235 for guys and 160 for ladies. So on the slightly heavier side. I wanted it to be slightly heavier than 225, 155, but not like ridiculously heavy that we wouldn't be able to get through those 50. So still biking in midline on Tuesday. Then Wednesday and Thursday, we've got some repeat workouts, which is kind of the entire theme of this podcast. We'll go over that in a bit more detail and strategy here at the end. Friday, we've got a long conditioning piece of a 500-meter row for guys, 400 for ladies, 15 toes to bar, and 10 strict pull-ups. On that day, I will also allow 3 rope climbs instead of the strict pull-ups. And hopefully you guys can bring this podcast up to remind me that I said that. But I will allow the 3 rope climbs instead of the 10 strict pull-ups because what we're looking for is a strict upper body pull there. And something that also taxes the midline in the way that we need to lift our hip flexors or lift our legs using our hip flexors. So obviously, like the toes to bar is a lot of that, lifting the legs to try and touch the bar, whether it be a toes to bar or a kipping knee raise or a kipping toes to something. We're obviously trying to flex those hip flexors as much as we can. And then strict pull-ups is obviously like the upper body pull. If we're doing a rope climb there, we're going to obviously also then tax the hip flexors because we lift the knees to try and clamp the rope. So the rope climb is less reps for that reason, as opposed to the 10 strict pull-ups. We've only got 3 rope climbs. With that, Saturday, we've got a short round partner workout. But the catch is that those rounds don't matter whatsoever. Your score will be the max wall balls. One partner will do a round of, I believe, lunges and biking. And then the other partner, while that partner is doing lunges and biking, will be doing wall balls. Your score is however many total wall balls you get as a team. Seems a little backward, I know, but that's the point. It's not meant to be about the AMRAP is meant to be the recovery. And I can feel most of you laughing about that because that's also the point. Is obviously it's not recovery. The wall balls are still meant to be very hard, but they are the crux of the workout in so much that is your score. The goal is to get as many of those as possible, not as many rounds as possible. So the partner that's working on the wall balls, while it feels like they shouldn't be the one that matters the most, they are the one that matters the most, as opposed to the partner working on the AMRAP is just really getting to be spelled from doing wall balls. So kind of a little bit of a different twist on that one, right? We are going for max wall balls instead of the max AMRAP of the round of lunges and biking. Obviously, lunges and biking don't exactly let the legs recover too much. So it will be a built up leg fatigue workout as well. Then on Sunday, just for um, the sake of finishing out the week, we've got bodybuilding and cardio. So it'll be some concentration curls, a couple of different cardio machines. I want you to pick like a bike and a row, or a row and a ski, or something like that. Two different cardio machines, just to get a little bit of a different stimulus in the middle, because it'll start with cardio number one, and then we'll do some bodybuilding movements, and then cardio number two, and then we'll do some more bodybuilding movements. So just to flush it out a little bit, because I do believe that Friday and Saturday we'll build that lactic acid a whole bunch. We'll bodybuild and long cardio on Sunday to try and flush. Okay, finally, we've got our our duo workout here for Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday is our countdown to midnight workout. It is a workout that we've done before. So just like with the Christmas trio workouts, we have done this one last year. I believe I don't think that I changed this one. I did change excuse me. I did change a little bit of Thursday's workout, and we'll kind of get to that. But I don't think that I've changed Wednesday's workout. So the New Year's Eve workout is countdown to midnight, which is 2 rounds, 90 double unders, 60-calorie row for guys, 50-calorie row for ladies, 30 thrusters, and 15 bar muscle ups. The catch is, number one, that the barbell thrusters are a little bit heavier than we might be used to at 115 for guys and 75 for ladies, instead of our usual 95-65, so it's a bit heavier. And then the obvious one that kind of sticks out there is the 15 bar muscle ups there at the end. That's a big set, right? Not a small set. So the crux of the workout is obviously the heavier thrusters and the high skill gymnastics to finish it out. My strategy here is going to be as unbroken as I possibly can on the double unders, a max sustainable pace on the cow row, and then chunky sets on thrusters. So there's 30 of them. And like I said, it's a slightly heavier weight than we're used to. And don't forget, it's 2 rounds on this workout. So it's not, we don't just get to the end and be done, right? We will finish the bar muscle ups and slash or our scale for that. And then we'll go back to the top. So this one doesn't just end with the 15 bar muscle up, or the 30 thrusters and then the 15 bar muscle ups. So for my thrusters, I'm thinking chunky sets, which would be like 5 sets of 6, 6 sets of 5. Maybe I would do like 3 sets of 8 and then a set of 6, something like that, where I am breaking that up pretty often, because I know that number one, I'm going to have to do it again, and number two, it's a little heavier than I'm used to. So then for the bar muscle ups, once again, we've got a couple of different scales here. Bar muscle up scale, if we don't want to use like jumping bar muscle ups, which I'm okay with jumping bar muscle ups, we will do this one in class, don't forget. So if you can join us for the 9 a.m. CrossFit class on Wednesday, by all means. Number one scale is going to be jumping bar muscle ups. Number two scale will be burpee pull-ups. Burpee pull-ups, obviously kind of tough to string together, in so much that we literally cannot string them together. Whereas a bar muscle up, I would probably break this up quite often. Once again, in total, there's 30 because it's 2 rounds. It's not just the 1 round of 15. So I would try and stay in control on my first set of them and not overly burn out. Like for me, and I know that that's a little bit different and always tough to say when it's for me, but for me, I know I can do a set of 15 bar muscle ups. I'm not going to try and do that on my first set. I'm probably not even going to go like 10 and 5 on my first set. If I go 8, then I might do like 4 and 3 to finish out, just because, like I've said, I'm going to have to do it again. So I'm probably going to break this up maybe 2 or 3 times in that first set, and maintain control of both my heart rate and my breath in those bar muscle ups to not overdo it on my first set, which is really the kicker in this workout. It's 2 rounds. It's not just 1 round. So after we finish our bar muscle ups and slash or jumping bar muscle ups and slash or burpee pull-ups, we've got to get back on the double unders and back on that row. That second round of row is going to be slower, okay? It's a fact of life. That second round is going to be a little bit slower, and that's okay. Once again, max sustainable pace, like I mentioned for the first one, is a pace that you can sustain for all 60 or 50 cals, right? So for me, that's probably like a 13 to 1400 on the first round and like a 1200 on the second round, cals per hour, that is. So something that like is just a sustainable pace, something that I know that I can stick to, because like I know that I can pull 1800 on that first round, but am I only going to be able to pull 1800 for the first like 30 or 40 cals, and then I'm going to fall to 16 or 15 or 1600 on the back end 20? You know what I mean? Like if my pace is falling, that's not something that I want. So I'm going to try and find my max sustainable pace for all 60/50 and keep it there, and then probably shoot for about 100 to 150, maybe 200 cals per hour less on my second round, because that should, in theory, be the max sustainable pace for that second round. Then once again, we get to the thrusters and the bar muscle ups on that second round, and then we can kind of burn it down from there. Thrusters mixed with muscle ups is definitely a tough combo. It's meant to be that way because of the obvious pressing that we have to do. So our shoulders are going to get fatigued. So try and keep that in mind, that on that second round, after you finish your thrusters, your shoulders are going to be pretty bounced, because we are obviously pressing out over our head. And then for a bar muscle up or even a burpee pull up, we're pressing for the burpee, pressing for the bar muscle up out of the dip. So it's a lot of pressing on our triceps and shoulders. So they will burn out. I would once again recommend breaking up the burpee pull-ups or the burpee bar muscle-ups as much as we need there, and finding something that we can maybe burn down at the end. Like for me, I might try and do 5, 5, and 5 on the bar muscle-ups there, just to obviously like stay a little bit consistent with my sets. If I feel okay after the thrusters, if I get through my thrusters in 3 sets of 10 or something like that, and I feel okay, then I might try to go for a big set and then just survive. So it depends on really like where you're feeling at the end there. But my suggestion would be max sustainable pace on the row for the second round, chunky sets on the thrusters, 6 sets of 5, 3 sets of 8, and a set of 6, something like that, that you know that you can maintain that consistent set. And then for my last set of bar muscle ups or burpee pull ups, I'm going to try and burn it down as much as I can. Like I said, we will do that one in class. So I will, by all means, probably spew this information at you again, which is great, and I'm sure that you'll love. But if you have any questions on it, by all means, ask me. And if you want to do it on your own after class, like I said, 24/7 access. So make sure that you have your hybrid set up and you know the codes to get into the doors. Then we've got push and pull on Thursday. Push and pull. I believe that I kept the movements the same. However, the number of movements changes, because push and pull this year is a 26-minute AMRAP, because we're going into 2026, right? So we've got a 26-minute AMRAP of 2 wall walks, 6 ring dips, 2 hang power cleans, and 6 back rack lunges. Kind of the theme here is obviously short rep sets, right? Only 2 wall walks at a time, 6 ring dips at a time, then 2 hang power cleans at a time, and 6 back rack lunges at a time. For the wall walks and the ring dips, those should both be numbers that we can do relatively quickly each time without needing to pause in between reps. However, this is a long AMRAP, right? In that it's 26 minutes and we've got short reps and short sets. So make sure that we start controlled. I don't think that anybody's going to come out of the gates and for a 26-minute AMRAP and absolutely try and burn it down. I'm looking at you, Brett. But just in case, I would not burn it down from the beginning. I would find something that I can maintain controlled for probably the first like 18 minutes. And I know that that sounds like the majority of the workout, because it is, right? I'm going to try and find a sustainable pace. I know that I can do 2 wall walks at a pretty decent clip. I know that I can do 6 ring dips unbroken, hopefully forever. So I'm going to try and maintain that the entire time. Then the RX weights on the barbell for the hang power cleans and the back rack lunges are 135 for guys and 95 pounds for ladies. So that should be kind of like a moderate weight. It shouldn't be something that's super heavy for us. We should be able to do the 2 hang power cleans and then, without putting the barbell down, push press it onto our back and do the 6 back rack lunges without needing to put the barbell down. Obviously, like I've made it back rack lunges because typically we tend to be able to rest a little bit easier with the barbell on our back than the barbell in the front rack. But It also adds the element of coordination of getting that barbell from our front rack to our back rack, which I know that a lot of us don't like, and that's okay. So make sure you warm that up before you get into this workout, okay? Because it will end up being a lot of transitions. Like I said, it's only 2 wall walks, 6 ring lifts, 2 hang power cleans, and 6 back rack lunges for 26 minutes. So we are going to get through this round a lot, like a lot. Like I would say a decent round is probably going to take us a minute to 90 seconds, right? A minute to a minute and a half. So I mean, we're looking at 30, it would be 20 rounds or so, right? 30 minutes would be 20 rounds. So we're probably looking at like 15 to 17 rounds, if I can do math correctly. Yeah, probably like 16, 17 rounds here. So I mean, we're getting through that quite a bit. We're getting through those transitions quite a bit if we can maintain a minute to a minute and a half rounds per, right? So I would strongly recommend warming up that transition from the front rack to the back rack before we do it. If you're going to do it 17 times or I would make sure that that barbell is something that I can hang power clean relatively easily for 2 for the entire time as well. I don't want the weight to necessarily be a factor in holding you back from picking the barbell up, but I do also want you to have to think about it, right? It shouldn't be like a 95-65 workout, or else I would have made it a 95-65 workout in which that barbell is light and we can throw it around at will. A 135, 95 pound barbell kind of makes it a little bit trickier to just pick up and go, which is the point. I want you to have to think about it, and I want your form to remain good as we get into rounds 14, 15, or 16, right? Making sure that we are still hinging properly, pulling properly, and catching properly, and then also push pressing and controlling the barbell down onto our back so that we can get into those back rack lunges, in which we will also control our knee down to the ground so that we don't need a pad, right? So I think a good score on that one's with quick math, probably going to be like 17-ish rounds. If we can get into that 18, 19, 20-ish round pace, we're probably cooking pretty good. But I would say probably 17 rounds is what I'm looking for on that push and pull. So we're going to move through that quite a bit of times. Okay? Well, with that, if you guys have any questions, of course, this one's going to be longer than last week, surprisingly, but if you guys have any questions about anything that we've got going on or any of the announcements that I brought up, by all means, shoot me a text or flag me down in class or ask me any questions that you need whenever you see me next. I hope you guys all had a very Merry Christmas, and I am so much looking forward to an awesome new year with y'all. All right? I will see you when I see you. Sounds good.